Success didn't make me happy. Plain and simple. I spent years, decades, pursuing the best positions that I could find with luxury hotels, with the finest and best restaurants in the world. I ended up working at one of the best restaurants in South America, worked as a certified professional sommelier, dedicated my life to wine, dedicated my life to service, became a high-performing restaurant manager. But for what? A cocaine addiction, several cases of burnout, divorcing my wife, sleeping with my boss. I made all of these bad decisions because success didn't actually lead to happiness. And you need to understand that true happiness doesn't come from a job title, it doesn't come from a paycheck or even a bank account. And so many people spend their lives pursuing some sort of idea of elite success, performance, but it doesn't really satisfy. And like me, so many people out there who seem to have it all, right? The career, the success, they're actually stuck in patterns of burnout. They're actually hiding misery and suffering, depression, anxiety, addictions. Look, we've been sold an idea that if we just get a good enough job, if we just have a big enough paycheck, then we're gonna be super happy. But like my addiction to cocaine, it was never enough. It didn't matter what level of success I hit, it was never enough. Now, why do we need to understand this? Simply put, we have been sold a vision, an idea, an illusion that someday we're gonna make it, we're gonna succeed, and everything's gonna be okay. All it does is keep us running the rat race. It keeps us spinning on that hamster wheel, pursuing ever more because it never seems to be enough. We need to understand this because true happiness does not come from some external validation, some external, a certificate, a job, a title, a paycheck. It comes from us. It comes from within. And so many of us fail to recognize this, fail to actually achieve true happiness because we grew up in a society that taught us to just keep working harder and harder, climbing and climbing. But it doesn't work. Now, countless CEOs, entrepreneurs, high performers, even athletes do not find the satisfaction in their careers and their dedication that they thought they were going to get. Because as soon as they reach one level of satisfaction, one level of success, they're stressed and they feel like they need to pursue another level and another level and another level. This is what it was like for me. I started climbing up the career ladder in a really high-end corporate hotel, but it was never enough. I always needed to go higher. I always needed to get more. I was working tremendously long hours, dealing with a lot of difficult situations, lots of stress, and it was never enough. And I was navigating and surviving by coping with alcohol, cannabis, and even at a point, cocaine. Because I wasn't truly happy. I was putting on this face of being happy. I had some nice suits, was making decent money. I was even getting interviewed for high-end magazines and websites because people were interested in learning about how it was that I ended up becoming a professional wine taster, and I ended up in South America at one of the top 20 restaurants in South America. It felt good, except what people couldn't see that was happening behind the scenes was my marriage was falling apart. I didn't create any time with my wife. We grew apart. I eventually cheated on her, and I was so miserable, and I was torturing myself, punishing myself, because I couldn't bear to tell her what had happened, that I was consuming drugs. I had a really bad cocaine habit for almost a year. My life was falling apart. Every day I would wake up feeling like absolute trash, but I would push through because I was in this prestigious job. I was in this space where I had a title, where I had a very strong ego. But look, this idea that success is going to fix everything just doesn't work. And I know that you're watching this because you are experiencing this. You have this feeling that no matter what you do, no matter how much you accumulate, no matter what kind of success you end up having, you're just not satisfied. We have a purpose in this life. Every one of us comes to this planet, embodies in this human form in order to experience something, to potentially to create something, to share something, to learn something. Each of us has a blueprint that our life was designed upon. And we have really two choices. One, which is to pursue that blueprint, to unfold that blueprint, to learn who it is that we came here to be. The other is to do what our society tells us to do. Follow the carrot, avoid the stick, and end up in an early grave not feeling truly satisfied. I haven't had a real job with a paycheck for over 5 years now. Now, I've had my ups and downs, but I get to be in places like this. I'm here in Antigua, Guatemala. In a couple of days, I'm going to be going on a hike with a group of friends to go travel to one of the biggest pyramids in the world to connect with and understand more about the ancient traditions of civilizations who knew how to build massive megalithic structures, who knew how to connect with something greater than themselves. Spirit, God, source, universe, consciousness, whatever you want to call it. With people who used a system like the sacred Mayan calendar to understand their true life purpose. Because look, right now, things are changing and you can feel it. I know you can. The world seems like it's getting crazier. Things seem like they're moving faster. Time seems like it's moving way faster than it used to. And if we don't get in touch with our true life's purpose, we are going to get spun, lost in addiction, lost in unhealthy relationships, lost in just jobs that keep us spinning on that hamster wheel. Now, there's a possibility though. There is potential for transformation. And I don't even say that you have to let go of the idea of being a high performer. It's simply about getting in touch with your true life's purpose. Stop living this ideal fantasy illusion that we have been sold, that someday you're going to have enough money in the bank, someday you're going to have the best job title, someday you're going to have everything that you want, and then you're going to be happy. It doesn't work like that. Happiness is an inside job. The reason that we get stuck in these patterns is because we carry social programming. Unconscious programs that have been handed down to us from generation to generation through our schools, through our governments, our politicians, that teach us, just kind of like Neo in the Matrix, to keep plugged in, to stay plugged in, and to stay feeding the system. That if we just work hard enough, if we just make enough money, everything's going to be okay. So what did I do? I slowed down. I stopped drinking. I stopped smoking. I stopped doing all the drugs. I started to learn how to get in tune with my actual life purpose, with what excites me, with what drives me, with what fills me with passion. I needed to let go of who I thought I was. I needed to bury that old version of me so that I could make space for my more authentic self. And I'm still on that journey. More and more, I'm releasing all those old patterns that used to keep me running the rat race over and over again, finding levels of success, but realizing they weren't actually doing anything, and then pursuing something even more, contributing to patterns and cycles of burnout. So now what I get to do, I channeled all of my failures, all of my difficulties, all of my addictions and my challenges with all of these things into my work. into my passion, into my career, but not just my career, my lifestyle, I feel much more satisfied. I feel much more content. And by no means am I perfect. I still have a lot to learn. But now what I get to do is to help support others and getting in tune with their true life's purpose. Because we are on the precipice of the biggest transformation that this world has ever seen. We're already feeling it. We're already seeing it, whether it's artificial intelligence, politics, cryptocurrency. There's a lot shifting. And I know that you, because you're watching this, have something big to contribute to that shift. But you're not going to be able to contribute it if you're stuck pursuing another paycheck, another promotion, another job title, because that type of success isn't going to cut it. It's time to get in tap with your real, true, authentic life purpose. But in order to do that, you got to get rid of everything that's in the way, everything that's holding you back, everything that's keeping you stuck in those old patterns. So if any of this resonates with you, stay tuned. Click that subscribe button, because I'm going to be sharing more information with you about how you can get tapped into your truest and highest self, how you can get an understanding of your design, your blueprint, what you came here to do, who you came here to be, what you came here to create. Because if you're here listening to me, you have something big inside of you that's ready to come out. My name's Christopher Armstrong. And my job is to support you as a guide in connecting with your truest and most authentic self, so that you can show up for this planet, for this world, for humanity, and help make massive transformation. It's time for us to level up. Humanity can't continue at this pace that it's been at. Something's got to give, and it's got to start with us first.